Hey everybody, it's me, Undead Viking. I want to take some time out of your day today to tell you about this game called GemPacked Cards. This is a new game from Eduardo Baraf, a guy that designer that I've reviewed a couple of his other games that he has, and I recently ran into him at Gen Con, and we talked about this game and talked about the art and everything like that, and I was really taken with the look of it, and I was taken with the design of it, and it was definitely geared towards a family type atmosphere. And I've been playing a lot of games with my daughter, as you well know, and so I was really excited to see this one. I knew my daughter would take to it immediately. The game itself is about set collection, it's about color collection, it's about combination of different types of colors and shapes to build up to bigger and better victory points, basically. But that's kind of like the end goal, but it isn't really what the game is about, if you will. The game itself has fantastic art that is going to immediately make you think of like video games, like like any. There's a game that my wife and my daughter play. I think it's called like Blobs or something like that. Then when I saw this art, it looked so much like it. I mean, it's just like they sit there and play that game on their tablets all the time, and it's this cute art, and it has these little cute little discs as well, these little pips, and the whole game is about collecting the pips that you turn into squares, that you turn into diamonds, that you can then turn into points, and trade those in for gold cards and other things as well. But it isn't just that. I mean, there's lots of games out there that you start small and build up. This is a game that allows you to deconstruct as well, and then go back to the basics and then rebuild it back up. And because of the fact that you're dealing with primary colors and also the combination of those primary colors, you have these possibilities of where you might use a 2 green pips, and I'll explain this in greater detail in how to play the game, but you'll use 2 green pips like this to buy a green square that looks like this. But the whole point in you buying the green square actually is to take this green square and deconstruct it down so you can get a blue and yellow pip, so you can use this blue pip to purchase a blue square, which then your blue square is then used to turn it into a blue diamond for even more points and things like that. And so it's a weird yes, it's a build-up game, but it's also a tear-down to build-up game. If you follow my meaning. So let me show you exactly how the game is played, and then we'll come back here and I'll go on more about that, and hopefully that'll make a little bit more sense to you, if you will. All right, cool. Let's show you how to play. This is GemPacked Cards, and I've set up a 2-player game because I've mostly played this with my young daughter, and she and I have absolutely loved it. I am going to say that this game does handle up to 5 people, and it plays well with all those numbers, but I've really enjoyed playing this one-on-one with my little girl. So I've gone ahead and set it up. You have the deck of cards you'll be drawing to replace the things on these grid as you buy these items that are down here, these squares and diamonds. And then you have your gold cards up here that you can turn in the different things that you need to gain them. You gain the points that those are worth, as well as these 2 cards. If you can buy those as well. And I'm just, for the sake of example, these are the 2 pips that my daughter starts with, and these are the 2 pips I started with. And this is just you have like a dice bag or something that you're going to put all these pips in that you're going to be drawing out of the bag, and the pips in the bag are what determines how long the game lasts. So if my daughter was going, the first thing that she's going to do on her turn, and she's got this green and she's got this purple pip and she's got those, and what she wants to do is she wants to turn those pips into something that she can buy something. She can buy like these squares, or and hopefully eventually turn those squares into these diamonds, because the diamonds are worth more points. So we're just going to draw 2 for her, and we're going to see that she got let's turn that one over. She got a red and a green and a purple and orange. This is really weird because of the fact that she actually didn't get some primary colors. Now, the big thing about when you purchase these things is that you can have 2 of one color. So if you had 2 yellows, you could buy a yellow. 2 blues, buy a blue, 2 red, and so on and so forth. To buy like a green, you'd need 2 green or a yellow and a blue. And, so you can go that route. Now, you can, if you want, you can just turn, like this particular item here, you'll notice that this is called the sun. And you can see that he's worth 1 victory point here, and 3 of any pip, and you can turn in and buy that. So she could do that on her turn. If, for whatever reason, you're unable to buy anything that's on the board on your turn, you do just get to draw an extra pip, and then the other person will go. And so this situation, this has happened before. So what she might do is she might take 3 pips that she wants to get rid of. She can go like probably keep the primary color, because you can use that to turn into other things as well. And takes these 3. Now you don't put these back in the bag. You have to put these in kind of like a communal pool, because you can on your turn trade like squares back in for pips, and that's something you can do. And you can do any of these actions as many times as you can, as often as you want on your turn. And so then she would take this guy, and she can flip it over to show that he's all happy and full and he's worth a point, and she's going to put that in front of her, and she's going to have that towards the end of the game. So on my turn, I'll go ahead and reach into the bag here, and I'll draw 2 out, and I'll see what I get here. I'm going to have... I got lucky and I got a wild. Right now, if that actually happened, my daughter would be very upset with me. Wild are actually obviously really good, since you can use those to buy wild squares, or you can see that some of these gold cards have a wild pip that you need to be able to get them. And so, but you notice that I have these 2 blue. And so what I could do is I could take these 2 blue, I could turn them into the pool, and then I'd take this blue square, and I'd have that. And then on Ryland's turn, she would take this and she would refill her spot. And so the game continues like this. Now, I'm just going to kind of show you how some of this would work. So like here, let's just go ahead and put these down for Ryland. So she has a yellow and a red. So what she could do is she could take these 2 and turn her in, and she could get this one, because yellow and red make orange. She could take that and she'd claim that as her card. And of course, then we start replacing these and so on and so forth. Now, eventually what's going to happen is that on your turn, you're going to go ahead and be able to take, I'm just going to kind of skip ahead here, but if I have, let me grab another one. Like if I had these 2 blue cards in my hand, I could take these 2 blue cards and I could turn those in. And with cards, you don't put those in a communal pool. They go into the discard. But then I'd be able to take this blue diamond. And notice how it's worth 5 points. And so then I'd have that to be able to use. Theoretically, I'd be able to use it to maybe to perhaps buy, this combo, since I already have that wild, and I can work towards being able to claim that card in my hand. Now, sometimes when you turn a card over, like on the next turn, you'll get something like this, and that is an action card. An action card in this situation, it's a meteorite that allows everybody, starting with the person that drew the card, to draw another pip out of this particular bag. There are meteorites that are larger, that like here, like it says a little +3 on there, and so you draw 3, and then those immediately would go into the discard like so. There is also these comet cards that if they place them in a spot, let's go ahead and like place it here, all the cards around it get discarded like this. So if you were counting on being able to get those cards, they'd be gone, and they'd be replaced with 3 new cards, like so. Now, the game continues, and so what happens, and I'll show this, so you might run into a situation where you'd have to actually turn in like a card that you had in your hand. Say like you wanted to be able to buy, this purple guy or whatever, for whatever reason, but you didn't have a purple pip, but you had a blue pip like so, but you had this red square. You could sell the red square like that, and as long as there was another red pip in there, of course now I can't, there isn't one, let me grab one out of the bag here, but if you have a red pip, or more than in the here, you could take and you could turn that square into 2 red pips and put that into the pips that you have, and then you could take these 2 and put them back and go ahead and claim one of those purple squares. And you'll be doing that kind of back and forth to basically get the cards that you need. Maybe you needed that purple square because you already had a purple square, and then you were envisioning eventually there being a purple diamond out there, like so. So like that. So you could take those 2 purple diamonds, purple squares, purchase that purple diamond, which would go with the wild, those two, and let's see, I have these as well. I'm cheating a little bit here, but I'd have all 4 of those items like so. That allowed me then to buy that gold card right there. And then, of course, that's worth 11 points if I'm able to claim that. Now, I made kind of a mess of my tableau here, so let me just kind of rebuild it a little bit. But, so the game goes back and forth, like I just said. You'll notice that this guy is worth 6 points, and you just have to turn in 3 squares of any color to be able to claim him. And then you turn him around, he's all smiley on the back, and you get to keep him for the 6 points that he's worth. But eventually, you're going to run out of the pips that are inside this particular bag. And when you run out of all of these pips, everybody gets one last turn to basically go through the whole exchanging and buying and exchanging and buying. If you ever run out of the cards in that deck, you just shuffle up the discard pile and, you know, build another draw deck as far as that goes. But, like, remember, if you run out of the pips, that's the signifies the end of the game. So everybody gets that one last turn to exchange and purchase and buy, and then you'll notice that most of these cards have... This wouldn't be there, obviously, because you'd replace that, the comet. But these cards all have a point or a victory point total on the bottom. So you just total up the total victory points of all the cards that you have. Whoever has the most points then wins the game of GemPacked cards. You know, it is a fairly friendly game. You know, I mean, you can try to kind of figure out what the other people are planning on doing and what they're going for and kind of race them to it. But for the most part, you're not really messing with anybody. It's just more of figuring out the combos and figuring out the different things that you have to grab and use to, like, get there. There's been a lot of times when my daughter and I have played where, you know, it's been a fun game to watch her play because, you know, I'm not helping her anymore. I'm letting her determine what she needs to do to figure out how to get those certain cards. So she has to figure out a way to bridge between her cards and her pips to get to, like, a red, you know, diamond to claim it. I like watching her think that through on her own, and like, okay, if I take, you know, my you know, she has like a purple square, you know, she sells that off for the 2 pips, you know, for like, say, like 2 purple pips or whatever, or I should say like a red and a blue pip, because she already had, you know, another red pip, and then she can go ahead and then buy this particular square, which then lets her get, you know, because she already had a red square, then allows her to then take that red diamond that she needed theoretically to go ahead and buy like this gold card. And it's kind of fun, you know, watching those little machinations click in her brain, and she figures out that little combo. And that's what this game's all about. It's about, you know, deconstructing the points that you have to reconstruct them so you can gain even more points. And I really, really like that. I really like that aspect of the game a great deal. So, but let me go more about that in my conclusion. Well, I hope you have a really good idea of how to play GemPacked cards at this point. There is a lot of going on, and the cool thing is that, you know, the game itself, as far as the build-up and the breakdown, is in and of itself just a really fantastic game. But I really think the fun of, like, the little action cards when you draw them and the things that happen when you do, you know, really add a lot to the game as well. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm glad that was put in there. It's just that little bit of spice to kind of spin things a little bit, and not that the game needed it technically, but it was one of those things where it just kind of adds some fun, if you will, to the game when that little extra part is right there. The kind of the weird little combinations of drawing more pips or destroying cards that are out there and things like that. There is one rule that I didn't mention. I should have mentioned that if the tableau, the 3x3 grid, ever has an inordinate number of diamonds on it, like 7 diamonds, the player that has that situation has the option to wipe the slate clean and start fresh, which is good to know, because if you have like 7 diamonds, you don't have the squares that are needed to buy those. That can be a needed situation. So I forgot to say that rule, so I apologize for that. But regardless, I think I kind of explained why I really like the game. It's one of those things where it's that weird middle ground family game for me, where you know, I don't think my daughter at 8 years old is truly ready to like play a game where there's a lot of conflict and where there's a lot of I'm not gonna say mean-spiritedness, but definitely like more of an adult atmosphere, if you will, because of the fact that there's no real confrontation. Not that this game is totally kid gloves. I mean, we're racing and we're trying very hard to beat each other, but it isn't a situation where I'm going and I'm messing with her at all. And and the best thing about this game for me has been the fact that I haven't had to hold her hand while she's played, and she's really taken to the game very quickly. I think it's mostly because of the colors and the shapes and the fact that it, like everybody knows, blue and yellow make green, and it's just, and it's fun, as I said, watching her figure out that deconstruction part of the game, to get, to go in reverse to get to where she wants to go, and it's kind of a neat little lesson, if you will. Now, I have played this game with my wife and I've taken it to my my gaming group at work that we play over lunch, and it's been one of those enjoyable games too, where you don't have to worry about what other people are doing at the table so much as just trying to make the best of your turn, and I like those games too. I like that little puzzle atmosphere. It's like, what am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with these pips? What am I going to do with these cards? How can I change these out? How can I get this? How can I maximize my turn? And I know a lot of people consider me to be more of a thematic or Ameritrash gamer, but I do enjoy the puzzle. I do enjoy the determination. I do enjoy that process, if you will, and kind of studying something with my brain for a while and trying to figure out the path to victory. And this game does that for me. And plus, it is an eye catcher. I've had more than a few people wander by the table when we were playing over lunch and people stopped and they're like, and they kind of know me as being the gamer, the board gamer there, but for the most part, they just kind of like, oh, but when they see this one, they definitely are like, whoa, what's up with this? What's up with the colors? What's up with the images? What's up? And it is a crowd gatherer, if you will, and without needing big cool menus or anything like that. The game is challenging. It's a lot of fun, and like I said, it's totally right there in that middle area as far as my family games go, and this is one that I was actually really excited to show my mother as well, and she actually had a lot of fun with it too. So there you go. I mean, that's GemPacked Cards. If you are looking for a family or a lighter game, I definitely would suggest this. If you're looking for a puzzle type game, I would really suggest it. If you dig this super cool cute art, I would suggest it as well. I should mention, I never go first in this game because the actual rules state the cutest person at the table gets to go first. And, well, my daughter is the cutest person at the table. So, alright, well, there you go. That is how to play GemPacked Cards. That is what I think of GemPacked Cards. If you have any questions about it, please let me know. I'll definitely answer those to the best of my ability. As always, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. And until the next time, this is Undead Viking telling you to have yourself one heck of an awesome day. All right, bye-bye.